Hello! Happy New Year! Welcome to 2022. Let's see how many magical things happen to us and we make happen to us and to the world this year. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that I use to just to keep track of my life, what things that I do, that I don't, and it's related to objectives that you may have or habits. The other day I posted in stories a post of Nacho Mullenberg, which was a little aggressive. It said having objectives for the new year, it's of losers. Well, I don't like to use these words because I don't believe in failure. Because I don't think nothing is a failure. I mean, something maybe doesn't happen like you want it to, but that can lead you to another ways that are even more exciting or more aligned to you. And anyway, these supposedly called failures are gonna teach you something. Well, then you have to put the conscious, of course, to see what can you learn from that. They can give you practice to do something else later on. So, I mean, I don't believe nothing is a failure, unless maybe you feel like that when you are about to die, and then you think, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that, or would have dared to change this or this other thing. But even in that case, I think we should talk to us with a lot of love and forgive us. But of course, if you are conscious when you are dying about those things that you didn't do, try to practice the consciousness before and go towards where your heart is telling you, like I always say, because that way probably you will regret very few things, and if you do, at least you'll have so many others to compensate that your life, you will think your life was worth it anyway, and you won't feel this strange feeling of failure. Because I guess you've heard that a lot of people there was a study, I think, about nurses asking people that was about to die, what did they regret more in life? And the answer that was more oftenly answered was, well, things that they didn't do in their life, not things that they did. So anyway, this is all related about objectives and habits. In that post that I mentioned, it was told that it's not that good to have objectives because sometimes that puts so much pressure on us. Then it's better to turn those into habits, like he mentioned. Maybe you have the objective of reading 5 books every month or whatever. Then maybe you don't need that much. But if you make the habit of introducing into your life a little bit of reading every day, maybe that's enough, or at least a way to begin to build a habit, and then the habit you can make it to last longer, depending on how you feel. Maybe you'll want to read more, but as long as you have this little habit of these 5 minutes, you have that space in your life. Then once you are in that space, when you are in that space, you can decide to make it maybe a little longer, and maybe you end up reading those 5 books a month or whatever you wanted. He mentioned also, for example, maybe don't write down like an objective, I want to lose 20 kilos. Maybe just try to eat a little healthier, put some consciousness on what you eat, and choose those food, the kind of food that is gonna be better for you, and not processed food, for example, not so much sugar, for example, and that's gonna help you to lose those 20 kilos. So things like that. Anyway, for that, the tool I wanted to share with you is my bullet journal. I'm using just a normal. I'm using this kind of notebook. There are specific ones. I left my other one, the one that was more specifically made like for bullet journals in Barcelona. So now I just took one of my multiple notebooks that I have around and used it like that. The bullet journal is something that helps you to keep track on maybe the habits that you want to have in your life. Or you can use it as to be more conscious about your day. For example, you can I'll talk to you more about the tracker later on, but I also use it to now I've reduced it to only 2 things, but you can of course use it as in as many fields as you want. The ones that I usually do it at night before I go to sleep. And what I do besides the tracker is write what's been the best thing that has happened to me in that day, or that I've made happen, of course. And also something that I've done for the first time. I like to do that because it seems sometimes we feel, oh, our life is so boring, we always do the same things. But if you pay a little attention on what you've really done that day, maybe you've done many different things, new things. Like maybe it's just tried a new kind of food. Maybe you've met a new person. Maybe you've drawn something different in a different way. Maybe you've read something that you didn't know before, or you've listened to that. So many little things that really makes us realize that our life is not that monotonous as we sometimes think it is. And you can also, for example, use another page to write down what you think, what you are thankful for in that day. Just whatever you want. Maybe you can write if you've done a good action in that day, or how have you been good to you, how have you pampered you that day. Just choose whatever you feel like tracking in this month, and then the next month you just review those things and maybe change them, maybe not, maybe add some things, maybe take some out. And one thing that I would love to do once, I don't do it anymore, but I think maybe I could do it again this year. We'll see. It was like keeping up a drawing diary, even if I don't know how to write that perfectly, you know about that. I made one drawing of something that had happened to me in that day. And I made one drawing every night. I mean, it doesn't have to take more than 1 minute even. So, and it was so much fun to review it afterwards. It made you remember things that you maybe didn't have in mind anymore. And it was so funny to see them expressed in that way. So that can be a very fun way of keeping up a journal, for example. And about the tracker is just a list that you write in a whole page, and you just put some ticks. Like, for example, okay, you write a list of things that you want to track in your daily life, these daily habits maybe that you want to introduce in your life, or that you want to keep in your life, or that you want to take out from your life, and just write them down in one column. On the rest of the page, you write the days of the month, and just keep on track every day and put a tick or make a circle, whatever you want, to see if you've done it or you haven't done it. For me, for example, what I use there in that list is to check how many hours of sleep I've had, to check if I've done yoga, if I've done meditation, if I've written down my morning pages, if I've written down something else, if I've drawn or painted, if I've set something up in Instagram, what else? If I've drunk coffee, if I've drunk alcohol, if I've gone for a walk, things like that. You can keep track also about what kind of food have you been having, if what kind of energy have you been having, anything. So, and it can help you with any kind of objectives. Like there was somebody that was asking me, how do you keep, how can you do something to know how to get your objectives done? Okay, if the objectives are about making something, the typical thing is to break down that objective in little steps and put those in your agenda, have some deadlines, and compromise to that. But of course, sometimes you think you're gonna be using less time than you wanted to doing that, so you're gonna learn also how much time does it take you to do these things or these other things, or maybe even if you don't want to do those things anymore. But okay, that's a way of getting your objectives done if it's about making, as I said, and you can add them to your tracking list, whatever you need to do for that project, and daily or weekly, wherever. And if the objectives are about how you want to feel better in your life, like being more calmed or less anxious and daring more, then you just maybe not in the tracker, whatever you feel, but maybe just have a specific page that where you put the days of the month, and then where you are gonna write down every day if you have been conscious about this or that you want to be conscious of, or how have you felt about being afraid of doing this and that, and how have you maybe gone through that. Just make it your own. No bullet journal is going to be the same as some other one. You can have some guidelines from a lot of YouTube videos, from these ones that I've given you, and if it works for you, if it's something that is going to help you like keep up these good habits that you want to have, or keep track of those that you want to get rid of, please do experiment and see what fits better with you. So, and please let me know in the comments if you already are doing a bullet journal, if you're planning to do one this year. Let me know anything. I'd love to hear you. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy it as much as you can. Be conscious on how you feel and how can you feel better. What can you do for that? And just be good to yourself. I'll see you around. Bye.